We have just come back yesterday from our trip in Exmouth, so it's been 3 weeks, and now we're starting as soon as we can to do whatever we can do with the build. So today is Monday. We started to basically strip all the cab, like everything, remove everything we can. So the first job we're gonna have to do will be car builders for the sound deadening and as well the heat insulation. So that's one of the major jobs we've got coming up soon. So obviously me, I'm the assistant in this whole bid. If Chris wants me to do research, filming, editing, giving him water, feeding him, that's where I'm for. And Chris obviously is going to do most of the work himself, and will give me as well some little jobs to do some research and as well little tasks that I can help. I'm like really keen to learn as we go. In 2 weeks time as well, we should be able to go to one of the other Unimog owner in Western Australia and go to their place. They've got like a big field, and this is where Chris will do the sanding, the chassis of the Unimog, and the painting. So this is basically where we are at the moment. We are as well buying things here and there. We've got like lots of stuff that we went to Bunnings and Super Cheap Auto for the first time this year, but certainly not the last time. So yeah, at this stage not much to document, but I'll take you along and show you what's happening behind the scene. Alright, so this is the last time that you'll see the mug with the canvas and the sides. We have just put the sides on sale on the Unimog forum, and we've got an owner that's going to pick them up tomorrow. So we will have to remove the canvas and remove those side trays, which are so heavy, which is crazy. So we'll get his help tomorrow to do that. It will definitely look a lot different, but yeah, it needs to be done. We don't need them, so here they go.
Huh. Cool. Alright, so here is the crack, and it's bad. It's actually worse than I thought. It goes all the way across and also splits up here. So that is not going to be the easiest repair, that's for sure. Yeah, not ideal at all.
What are we doing?
So we're going to remove this headlining, A, work out what's underneath and if it's rust or not, and B, work out whether we want to keep this lining, and we'll probably put some sort of car builders over the top just to stop some of that heat and sound. I'll remove that as well. Got a trim remover. I don't imagine I'll be able to save all the trim pieces, but we'll see how we go.
Alright.
So put that under there. Yeah, they're already cracking because they are very old. So looks like that one snapped inside. So yeah, not super helpful. Looks like you got to pull this piece out first, actually. There we go.
What can you see?
Yeah, lots of dust. Oof. Okay, so that's that falling down. Alright, so next take the others out. Alright, so kind of fix the window. So the actual like window lever, this was bent. I don't know how it was bent in, and it was actually catching on like the window frame, and that was catching, and then you couldn't actually even wind the window up without a huge bang. You know, you could tell it was catching on metal. So I've sort of fixed that. It's a bit stiff, but it works now. And I found a bit of window rubber that had fallen inside the door, but there's not too much rust. In fact, I can't really see any. So that's a good sign. But what needs to be replaced, these window rubbers, they're all stuffed, so I need to replace those. So that'll be one of our jobs. Alright, bulb is ready to go in, so we've got a new H4 bulb here, really good one. And then we've connected that up, and yeah, we're just going to chuck it in. Massive difference. Originals. Yeah. Okay, so today is fiberglassing day. I don't know if you can tell, but I've just put wax and grease remover on, but I've two-part epoxied the brake, so it now no longer shifts. So now I try and learn how to do fiberglassing. Wish me luck.
This is what it looks like without the cover. So much more spacious. We can both stand easily. So now the job is gonna be removing those tray sides, because we've got another Unimog owner who's gonna come to collect them. All right.
Alright, so fiberglass is set. It's been 24 hours. Now I'm going to sand it back. Alright, so we need to pull this floor lining out, make sure there's no rust underneath, because we're going to put the car builder's sound and heat insulation in. But it's kind of locked in by these rubber strips or plastic strips that have then been riveted down. So I've never removed pot rivets before, but we've got a drill. I'm just going to drill them out, see if I can remove them without completely breaking this strip here. Otherwise we're going to have to replace this strip, and it doesn't look too worn. So if we can reuse it, that would be great. That's working really well. Needle nose pliers.
Oh.
Alright, this is going to be a slow process.
All done.
Yeah, alright, I'm happy with that. That can be reused for sure.
Better.
Excellent. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I was worried this would be all just a rust bucket in here. It's been so well looked after.
And this is the after. Well done, Chrissy boy.
Thank you. So, relatively happy with my first job. Underneath's a bit messy, but it's all good. Pretty happy with that. 406.5.
406.5 long.
Like 240.7.
240.7. Alright, so a little wrap up for the week. We haven't filmed at all yesterday, Friday. We were quite busy.
Yeah.
Doing some drawings.
Yeah, so started just some rough plans. There's a side sketch and a bird's eye. And we're kind of just planning stuff out and trying to work out what fits where and what space we've got to work with. It's all pretty strange and new to us. Had a bit of a full-on week. Nothing really eventful happened though, did it? No,
so basically we're trying to do as much as we can with what we've got right now. So we don't have the workshop yet. We still have like made some progress. We've got an approximate idea of what we want for the camper, which is a big step for us. We found as well the Fiberglass panel supplier.
Yeah, we've finally found a supplier in Perth, which has been surprisingly difficult. They are all over east. So we're going to go talk to him next week and maybe get a quote from him, but that's why we started with the plans, because we need to know a pretty good estimate of materials that we'll need from him.
Yeah.
And that's an XPS foam, so it should be high quality stuff, so we'll see. But basically we're trying to do lots without any facilities, and we're not getting anywhere with quotes and stuff. It's
hard
difficult.
to chase people. So right now we are chasing as well a quote for seats. We've got as well to follow up on new tires and rims. So we got some quotes. We won't share too much yet because it's all like a bit unsure. But yeah, we're looking into that as well. And yeah, just like overall, just researching online like information with other Unimog owners. So this is where we are. I think overall we've still done a lot this week, even if it doesn't seem that much. And now we're like looking at doing as well some editing. We'll do a Q&A soon on like all the questions we got about the Unimog, and as well a separate video with more in details about our camper plans.
All right, the bonnet is done. Not too bad. Put the emblem back on. I'll probably get a new emblem at some stage that's silver again, because the painted one doesn't look very good. But yeah, all good to go. Painted a couple of things under here. This will be repainted completely the new color. When the whole cab is repainted, yeah, that'll be done as well. So yeah, just had to look good enough to pass. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. First time fiberglassing and first time bogging a car with like filler. So did it all well, the last clips you saw, and then I walked back to the Mog and a big gust of wind grabbed the bonnet and slammed into the ground and broke the whole thing again. So I didn't film that part, but it then took me a couple more days to redo all my work again, but I was a bit faster this time. But yeah, just no dropping this bonnet basically.
I'm walking inside doing some editing, and I'm just coming to check on Chrissy boy and making sure he drinks enough water. Have you had any water, Chrissy boy?
No.
Alright, show us what you've done.
So we can't take the seats out for obvious reasons because we're not in a workshop yet. So it still needs to be drivable. I've just kind of pulled up the floor where I can. There is rust on this passenger side, much more so than there was on the driver's, and my guess is at some point that leaks. It's either been fixed or it still leaks. We need to check on that. I'm trying to remove all the epoxy resin that glued the vinyl down, and it is the most annoying stuff. So I'm just using wax and grease remover and some good old-fashioned elbow grease, and then I've got some wire drill bits for getting into the seams, and then I'm gonna rust treat it and then prime it and then paint it olive green over what I've done. And yeah, but it's not a lot of fun. I actually thought this would come up a lot easier, but it doesn't. It starts to come up. Just because we want the glue to stick there. I don't know what that is in there.
So this is what we are using for it.
Yeah. Gonna need another bottle.
And this is what I've been working on. Alright, it's Friday. We are back at the Unimog. This morning we did mostly some admin work, so chasing quotes, like looking at the emails. It's all this kind of little thing and research that take a lot of our time. So now we are back at the cab. Chris is removing the remaining of the flooring as much as we can.
It's like 38 degrees.
Yeah, so we bought this little coconut water. If you like coffee and coconut water, try that. They are the best. All right, let's do it.
So that is what was under the floor.
That is so gross.
So that's metal. It's just being pulled up by rust, and this epoxy. This epoxy stuff's disgusting. It's so hard to remove. Good times since '83.
Update. We actually forgot to go to Bunnings to buy more wax degreaser. So this is what we're gonna do. Get some more sponges and go back to do the actual work.
Parking in the dip. So I don't know what's behind here. I assume it's an access hatch to the engine bay. You never know, maybe it goes to Narnia or somewhere. Oh. There's only 4 screws.
Ta-da! What are you?
Well, no wonder why that's loud and hot. It's literally right there. This rubber stuff. Gosh.
Ooh. So today is Saturday. Unfortunately, yesterday we chased the quotes from our fiberglass panel supplier. No news. So it's a bit annoying, and that kind of like delays the whole bid basically. So we're trying to get everything else that we can done this morning. So today is windows and roof hatch.
So we think we've found the windows, but because they've got like integrated blinds and fly screens, internally they actually take up a lot more space than they're cut out. So we've got to factor that into what size we go with. And our double glazed acrylic, which we need to make sure will have enough insulation for us for overseas. And now looking at skylights, and I don't think they're double glazed, so now I'm concerned about heat loss.
That's a bit tricky because all the information that we can find in Australia, obviously they don't have to worry about that. A lot of people don't want to do what we aim to do, traveling overseas in cold weather. So it's a bit tricky in that respect, but work in progress. So this is the paint we're using, special camouflage green. This is so much fun!
Yeah. Awkward spot to get into.
Doesn't come in one piece. You will be defeated. Wow. Last piece. Nice.
Alright, so just using some degreaser around the accelerator pedal. So if you push the accelerator pedal, Ange, you'll see this moves in here. So press the accelerator again. Yeah, so that's That's my stiff accelerator pedal. First of all, there was a bunch of gunk under it under here. There was like a plastic cover over it and it was just filled with trash. So that's already made the accelerator pedal a little bit smoother. But then there's also 3 springs in here that I'm going to chuck some like nylon. It's almost like a WD-40 type of arrangement. So I'm going to chuck that on there. Degreasing it at the moment because it's really old grease. And then there's a, if you look here, Ange, there's a grease nipple there. So we've bought a grease gun. I'm going to fire grease and then it should squirt out both ends and make this a lot smoother. So yeah, that should really smooth that accelerator action. It should be less like all on the whole time. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Maintenance time.
Wasn't nice.
Did some squirt out?
Stop.
I'm not qualified for this. So before I put this hatch back on, just using some of this silicone easy glide stuff on the springs so they move around a little bit easier. That's all I really need to do. These are good. Been using these in the like the draw runners of the Jeep on the kitchen. They've worked really nice.
So I'm just degreasing the roof and the rear wall so that Chris afterwards can just put some paint just to protect the interior before we do car builders very soon.
Safety first.
So like I'm like spying on Chris. But safety first.
But feeling a little bit defeated today.